Welcome to the MorningStar Podcast, a space for real conversations and shared experiences. Together, we'll explore the ideas and stories that inspire, guide, and connect us all. Let's get started. The MorningStar Podcast discusses topics related to recovery, addiction, and mental health, which may be sensitive for some listeners. We are not medical professionals, and this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice or treatment. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the MorningStar Podcast. This is episode 13, and we have a very special guest with us today. Her name is Jayli Fimbres. We're very excited for this episode. I must have booked it about a month ago, or maybe a couple weeks ago, and I'll just let Jayli tell you a little bit about herself and what she does and how she helps our community.
I just want to excuse myself in front of anybody that may be listening, that might be an elder, spiritual leaders. My name is Jayli Fimbres. My Indian name is Holy Robe or Sacred Shawl Woman. I'm a part of the Alkali Lodge clan and a child of Prairie Chicken. So Mina Girawitz, I am 3 clan, and I suppose I'm happy to be here today, and everything that I say is strictly my opinions and my perspectives on things. I, of course, have my interactions or my how I'm affected by addiction. I have experiences where I'm affected by addiction, but I haven't been addicted to. I have my addictions, but they're not, I've luckily been drug and alcohol free my whole life, I think, because I was exposed to a lot of traditions and culture growing up, and so I've been fortunate in that way. Yeah, I grew up in Audihira Sheku Mahukut Mahukut. I live in Newtown. Adiho Digi Orahira Sheku Hag Mahut. I come from Mandarin, Mahush Madush. Mahush He Madush Adiho Digi Orahireds Sheku Ma'tiads. My parents grew up in Mandarin. And so that's a little bit of my background. I enjoy being active. I love to play sports with my sister here, Desi. We played basketball growing up. I did some running, some boxing, some softball. Also really involved in the community with cultural preservation efforts. I don't like to say like language revitalization or nothing like that, because it's like we want to be living our language, we want to be living our culture and stuff. So yeah, I don't like the kind of those colonial terms,
right.
Yeah, I'm just doing the best that I can. I hope I share something meaningful with my experience and my perspectives today. And I hope I also excuse myself, so I hope I don't say anything offensive. That's not my intentions, so.
Thank you. So can you tell us a little bit about the Culture and Language Department and who you work with?
The Culture and Language Department was a division under the Education Department starting out. Prior to that, I've actually worked in a Master Apprentice program under the Endangered Language Endowment Grant with Mashawi Shalisa Casares. And so for a couple of years, we're kind of just like visiting some Ogus, like wherever we can visit them. Like we would go to Mina.
Yep.
Willowville was one of them that I worked with prior to. So there's Willowville, the Gwynn sisters. Me and Lisa had sat down with Mary, Martha Gotchpin, Sally White, Iris Obis, Arvella White, Carol Ann Newman, Dalvin Driver Sr., Dalvin Driver Jr., and during that time frame, maybe 2016. My teachers in high school were Martha Baker, Thomas Mandan, and Martha Birdbear in Mandarin when I was little. And I don't want to forget anybody because they're all so important to me. And they taught me so much. So that's kind of where I started. Culture and language departments, I've been within the department under the tribe for about 6 years, going on 7. So that's supposed to be master apprentice program, but we're kind of wearing like multiple hats. So we're like, I'm a language Hiradza coordinator, so I'm kind of like supervising other learners, also trying to network and like be a part of community events. And like we get so spread thin kind of to where it's like the goal of like sitting down and like our job is to be learning is like we're trying to reach about 4 hours a day, but that gets difficult when we're kind of like we have these Zoom classes or we teach at the school or like, you know, like they teach at the elementary school, like our apprentices, and it's hard to get elders to come sit down with us too, and then we got to go out. And so like now we're trying to like adjust and exhaust all the methodologies and the complexities of like how do you actually create a fluent speaker.
That's a lot of work.
And yeah, it's a lot of hats.
Lot of work,
yeah, and we need a lot of people in the efforts. And so yeah, there's a lot behind master apprentice, and we don't know what that looks like. We don't just have one language either.
Right.
And we've got 3, you know, and people struggle with one within their tribe. And so that spreads the people thin that are like all in to do it. And so it's a lot to ask to people to be all in to do it. And you can't just like clock out and say, okay, cool, I'm going home, whatever. Like yeah. It has to be a part of your life too, like your everyday. And that's tough when you go home and you don't have people to talk to. Elders even feel that way, fluent speakers. Like I'm an empath too, and I was like, I cry every day about it. Like I cry weekly.
Can you also tell us like what is available for the community members? Like if they were trying to like get more knowledge about their culture or language?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like we're trying to focus on our language learning, but we also, we want to offer all the materials. We want to offer all the public classes. We want to be in the schools and the colleges. We want to be at Good Road. And it's like coordinating all of these things. Like it's hard to find time to actually learn and be at a level where you can offer something really valuable. And like that's going to take time sitting down with elders. And I do the best I can to do that and to get like those valuable teachings and to share them. You were there. Yeah. He's like, you guys are my voice. And I know like she's like I love her so much. Like she's like a hard candy with a soft center. And she's like, she'll tell you how it is. She's real blunt, real forward. That's how like my mom is. And I've been coachable. I've been a coachable person my whole life, and it's done me good. Done me good to shut up and listen yeah. and like take criticism and be constructive with it. Cause she's like, you quit on me. You stop coming. And I'm like, no. I know, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, I'll come back. And when I do, she's happy to see me and she's happy to share things. And she's really open and loving and has a lot of knowledge. And so don't be afraid when people are a little prickly thorn bush to you. Yeah. Because there's a lot of reward behind killing your ego and wanting to be better. And so when I go see her, she talked a lot about that's a big thing. Go see elders. You know, don't rely on your apps. And that's something I have to tell myself. Like I'm always like self-study. Ooh, I have all these things like this dictionary in my phone. I hardly look at it, but the thing that's really going to help you is there's like this polyglot, and he's like learns languages so fast. And like I was showing some of my students, like he learned Navajo, he learned Cree, and he was like, the secret is do it all the time, do it every day, do it like when from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. Like there's no secret behind it. Like just speak. And so it's like easier said than done, obviously, but like the secret is visit your elders and just speak as much as you can. We're creating resources. So our linguist is Logan Sutton, and he's transcribing a lot of our materials from like the compilation of the Mashi stories. I can give those to you guys too here, can email it to you. But there's like all kinds of resources available online openly. And so what he's doing is he's transcribing all of that. And the goal is to one day be able to tell these stories in the language. But yeah, most important resource, go to your elders, because we still have speakers. we still have speakers, and those are the most valuable, most important resources that we have. And I do my best to make time to do that. I love teaching at the school. I love teaching at Good Road. I love teaching other apprentices. But like I said, we're kind of building all these resources as we're going. And so the Language Conservancy has level 1, 2, and 3 books that we can offer. So you can jot down your email or mailing address, and we can get more books ordered. We have those, and then we have, some basic Mandan, Arikara, Hiradza booklets. We've got flashcards. We have to work on editing all of our recordings. That we have a Dropbox full of days and days and days of recordings. But like I said, we're offering all these classes, and then we got to be the tech people. We got to learn how to archive. We got to learn how to edit these videos to where, these grandmas are saying personal things. We got to go through. Those are days of work. Mm-hmm. We need all of the people with all these different skill sets for all of these different positions that we need to create, because we can only wear so many hats. And so if people want resources like that, which obviously we're going to have to start moving towards, because we don't learn how we used to. We got to learn in schools. We got to learn through our program, self-study. We got to use online resources, materials like that. But we've made the materials, transcribed the materials. And so it's going to take a long process, and we're doing our best to deliver to the community. And Indrick Park actually has a lot of resources too. We're going to sit down and meet with him and try to get some resources from him. But like I said, we have our own linguist within the department who's working so hard every day. Literally nobody works as hard as Logan Sutton in our department. He has a good foundation of all 3 of those languages, and he just has a knack for picking up the structure of it and learning. And so he has intensive classes with us when we don't get to sit down with elders. The resources are growing and coming, and we're doing our best to distribute that to the community. What else is available? Like I said, we have our Zoom classes. I have open to the public Zoom class from 5 to 6. We have a Facebook page, the Culture and Language Department Facebook page, where all of the Zoom ID or the where you can join the Zooms are on that page. So that's where you'll see our flyers or any events that we have. We also share other flyers from other cultural events within the community. We do our best to be present at other events too. There was a buffalo harvest.
Oh yeah, in Mandaree.
Oh, this one was in Twin Buttes. We want to have it in every segment because I was so heated. Oh gosh, I don't know if I should say, but we were so heated, me and the other cultural teachers, that some of the kids didn't get to go.
Oh, yeah.
Because when my brother was one of them too, he was at tutoring the night before, and I was like, "Are you eligible? Are you eligible? Can you go?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm working on my stuff right now." The night before, and I was trying to get the list of eligibility before I left the school in the morning, because I only teach in the morning. And they're like, "Oh," the guy who was that I was trying to get it from, he said, "Oh, I don't run it until 5. So I was like, okay, and I think I had a class or something. I don't know, but I was like, well, I just take their word for it. These kids are like, yeah, we'll be ready to go. And some of them weren't, and I was so sad. And one of our cultural teachers was so heated she didn't go.
Oh no.
And then she was like, I can't let my students be sad by themselves. So she stayed. One of them stayed. And so I understand we established kids should be eligible for this.
Right.
But at the same time, when I wrote that, I was like, I wrote a post about it. I was like, I just want to check out all the kids that weren't eligible for this event, because I think it's so vital for their well-being that they do better in school.
Right.
And Agnes Woodward wrote on there. She's so oh man, she's a boss lady. She speaks the truth so eloquently and so strongly. Mm-hmm. I'm I want to be able to express facts like that, just the truth about how important culture is for our youth, and how vital it is, because she was it's not only a nice little opportunity. She's it's vital to who we are. It's vital for their success.
Right.
And so yeah, that was one of the really cool events that I hope somehow our department or just collaborating more with other departments, like somehow we can create that opportunity again in every segment, or just so people can have that experience. Because I was like, some of these kids are never going to get this experience.
Right.
No, I like hearing about the culture and language. I can talk about it all day.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here. You know, but
Me too.
there's a lot of people that we see come through our programs, and they're getting reintroduced to the ways. Sweat Lodge is a big one for us, and we like to get in there and we sing along, and then the new guys, they start learning other cultures or other tribes songs, and then eventually I think they question like, well, where's our songs at? How come we don't say in our language? So for me, I had to search like high and low for any kind of song, any kind of recording, the language. So, but then you kind of run into a lot of like you get like disheartened or discouraged,
Oof. Yep.
So I guess what would your advice to be to the new people that are trying to learn, or
I get discouraged every single day. I think it's when you look at like what our people did so that we could be here, when you look at it like that, like I always say like I'm indebted to the ones before me, because everything that I am and everything that I have and like the sense of self that I have is because of them. And when I see my people hurting, that it's like I'm indebted to my people, and I want to do my best to let them know that they're worthy and what's in their veins, because it's so beautiful what we still have and what we can build on. And so like I have like these spiritual validations sometimes, like when I feel really alone. And there's even like stories of like some of our creation stories, like in Creator, when he was in the beginning, like there was no time, there was no space, nothing, no sound. He felt like immensely alone. And this story is your story too. He felt immensely alone, and so like he had cut himself, and when he cut himself, he realized like everything was within, and that like indigenous connection is like infinite. Wholeness is like eternal. And like I always say, like I read from this book, the author is Tara Trent, and she talks about like how happiness is temporary but wholeness is eternal. And that's a really like indigenous worldview and perspective, because that's all we talk about. It's all we talk about is like our connections to one another and to all things. And so knowing that you're never alone, and actually the idea of being alone isn't being lonely either, because simultaneously you are all things, and you are one with everybody, and I am you and you are me. And that's what keeps me going, is like just being a part of something way bigger than what I am, what I can comprehend, and something that's been alive and well for centuries, like since the beginning of time. And I think just being relentlessly resilient, because that's what you are. That's what's in your DNA.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful what you have, what we all have, and that's each other. And that's our clanships, it's our kinships, it's our language, it's our connection to the land. We all are kind of poisoned with like a colonial idea of fear.
Yeah.
That fear it infects the world. It's that's like the flaw in the universe. And we are sent here to cure the flaw in the universe as indigenous people. And colonial people fear the unknown. And as an indigenous people who are affected by those ideas and those Western ideas, we are afraid of the unknown. And we're afraid of change, and we're afraid of growth, and we're afraid of all of these things. But when you really look within and look around and look at each other, you're powerful beyond measure, and that's what people are afraid of. Like, that's a quote from one of like Coach Carter that has like a lot of like you're not afraid of being inadequate. You're afraid of being powerful beyond measure. And that's true. That's like, you're afraid of your own power and change. So get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Get uncomfortable and get out of your comfort zone. And go ahead and be afraid, but face it anyway. And that's what courage is. And that's where growth comes from. And being stubborn in your pursuit for your divine purpose. And don't let anybody tell you you can't. Arumahe hakads, I can. Mabi aids, mabi hirads, every day is a new day. And you can put your mistakes and you can bury them. Put them behind you. Another one of like my favorite quotes is like, you have to live for the future because the past will eat you. And like, as an Indigenous people, like the things that we have faced, trauma and all of those things have to be acknowledged, but you can't wait for people to apologize. You have to recognize your own like pain and suffering and try to face it, fight it, don't be afraid. And you have support all around you. And you've got elders with like just this crazy knowledge, like this love, like that real elder love and knowledge. And it's like, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and you have so much to fight for and so much to look forward to. And discouragement, it's kind of like just a little pin in your side.
Yeah.
And it's not going to stop you, though. Don't let it stop you.
I just want to say, to clarify a little bit, like, I love when people speak any type of language. I love all Indian people, and all their languages. So I don't hate anyone learning a different language and all that, but it's just something more powerful about learning your own people's culture and language, And the next question off of that I want to ask is, since learning a little bit about the language and the culture, how many more doors and opportunities and benefits from that has come to you?
The opportunity just to know yourself and to have that sense of self propels you so much into success. Opens doors after doors after doors and introduces you to people, genuine connections, real connections. It's been my antidepressant. It's been my divine purpose. It's been everything to me. It means everything to me because I don't even know how to like put into words how amazing it's been and how it's been so rewarding to learn just a little bit. Like I have so much to learn. The more I learn, I feel like the less I know, and the more everything starts to sound the same sometimes, and it gets like, man, I hit a wall sometimes. And like I said, sometimes at that point it gets a little bit discouraging, but then that's when I go and I kind of like go see elders, or like I try to really ground myself and be present. Like be present and get out of my head. And I think opportunities are just like waiting for everybody, that are like, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's something you should look forward to and be excited for. And like, you're going to find that people are really encouraging to you.
Another thing I kind of want to share with my sister here is, so I must have I'm like a little bit over 4.5 years maybe clean. But I remember when I was at Good Road and, I was like in addiction for a long time, and I couldn't remember the last time I really actually talked to Jayli, and I was taking services at Good Road Recovery Center, and they said that we had Hidatsa class, and I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like I was just kind of going along with whatever they were, trying to like provide for us at the treatment center, and my sister Jayli comes walking in, and I kind of explained like the feeling that I had, like just her energy of like being there and like, there to to teach us. Kind of makes me get a little bit emotional, but that like that hug that she gave me that day. Hey, I'm glad you're here. You know what I mean? Like it just like made me really emotional, and I felt like safe, and I felt heard, and like so like you're part of my journey, getting clean. Because it gave me so much like strength. You know what I mean? And then to hear like that language, you know what I mean? Like my own language, and trying to remember like back to the day when I was first hearing those words. It's something about when somebody like talks Hiratsa, like it's like it brings me like peace. It brings like a feeling that you can't ever explain. You know what I mean? But it was definitely what I needed that day, and I appreciate you just doing what you do and the person you are. Like I can just like feel like safe and secure and okay when you're around. So like I appreciate that. Like that's part of my story, and I will always be forever grateful for you coming in to teach like the language, and a lot of people in there are carrying around like a lot of hurt and shame and different feelings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But like what you do when you come up to Good Road is a part of our healing, and so it's a bigger picture for us, especially being early in recovery. So can you explain about like, you know, like the sense of like the sense of different feelings that you get when you get to come into like the treatment center, or when you see your relatives finally come into recovery after being out there for so long, or you know what I mean? Can you explain that feeling to us?
Man, I just want to acknowledge what you said too. Yeah, seeing you too that day, I was really happy to see you, and I think I don't want to cry. But I like can never not cry, especially like when it's somebody I care about so much, and like people I care about so much, and like I really don't want to cry right now. But I resonate really well. Actually, I relate a lot to people here, because something that I am is that I'm an empath, and I'm sensitive, and people that are here feel very deeply, and when you feel very deeply, you feel pain more. And like I said, you're a result of your environment, your circumstances, and I would be where you are if I didn't have the luck of being exposed to culture, or literally being so sheltered by my grandmother, who was a heavy Catholic. Like, she introduced me to prayer. I, had no friends. I played outside. I was grounded. I was lucky to be have Stockholm syndrome for my grandma. And I think you're just exposed to things that you're unfortunate to be exposed to. And none of it is ever your fault. So when I see people here, I have zero judgment, because it could be me. If I had those experiences, if I was molded by my environment, the way that you were, I would be where you are. And that's why I have so much love and grace and space for people that are here, because I know they care deeply. And if they were in my shoes, they would look in the mirror. I see a mirror of what I would be and what they would be. And I know that they would do, they are capable of doing great things. Like I said, it's a new day. You can be the source of your own healing, and because you have so much love and support around you and for one another. And when I see you, I see me. You're my blood. We are blood. And I just want to lift my people up. I want to lift you up off the ground and out of your pain, because it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. And what was done to us, and it wasn't that long ago. So when the Pope does an apology, I'm sorry what the Christians did to you. It was the church and these political leaders, and we were massacred, and that wasn't that long ago. And we carry that in our blood, and generational trauma is very real. Those experiences that your loved ones have had, you're living it too. It's in it's chemically swirling in you. there's a science behind it too, and it's a spiritual thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like you can't wait for people to apologize, but in order for you to heal, there does need to be an acknowledgement of it. And people need to know why they feel this void and why they feel so hurt and where it comes from. And it's nobody's fault. So that's why I think people need to like hold grace and space for themselves and if they've made mistakes, because we all make mistakes, and that's a part of, like I said, moving forward. It's a part of life, and it makes me feel good to see people taking a step away from their mistakes to be better, to come here and to realize that they're loved, they're worthy. And I always say, like, I don't want to think individualistically or selfishly. I want to be like some of our animals that are sacred and holy to us are like the ant people. They work together, and do they ever see themselves as one individual thing? But how mighty are they when they're all one? You know, I don't think of myself as unique or special or anything like that, because I see myself like I see other people, deserving and loving and amazing and beautiful and capable beyond measure. Those things can coexist together, and we don't have to be colonial thinking and pulling each other down. And that's our pain, that's our trauma, and that's not of us. That's not of our true DNA. And although there is generational trauma, we have, what do they call, like the generational healing?
Yeah.
So that runs deep in our veins too. And learning that those things are coexisting in you, and deciphering those things. And when I see all of my people, I see myself. And I'll do anything for them, and I love them. It means everything to be whole and to be one with something so complex. I can go on and on about how it's so moving to me, and like it's my purpose in life, and like I can't explain it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dom.
Yeah, I like that about it's good for us, as Indian people, to know our history, be aware of what happened to us, and kind of being aware of what's going on right now. A lot of us are getting sober and healing ourselves and rejoining society again, rejoining our tribe, our ceremonies, all the things that the Indians, us Fort Berthold people, have back home, and we're coming back around. And it's good that you brought that up too, about the generational healing, because what people are doing right now is they're fixing their hurts, and they're becoming, I guess you can say, healed and recovered, through all types of different programs, language, culture, AA, NA, wild variety, whatever it is. And I think it's important that we realize, what we're doing right now for ourselves is we're fixing our future too, We're making it good for our kids and their grandkids, and hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully, but, they will have a better future. They'll have a better understanding of who we are, And I think that's very important. And what language does for us and the culture is it just reminds you of who we are, I think it's very important for us as Indian people to know who we are and what we come from.
Mm-hmm.
But there was kind of something I wanted to backpack off of that too, was that you see a lot of, I don't want to say people back home like hurting and stuff still. But if they never come through this way, if they don't ever heal, do you think it's possible for them to still come around the language and the culture and ceremonies, Because I know for me, I was scared, I didn't want to disrespect. So I guess for the ones that aren't on the road, the same path that we're on right now, what kind of words would you give to them people to bring them around, make it kind of interesting for them, And I try to think of things to say to them that we'll bring them around, you know.
Yeah.
So have you had any experience with that?
I always respect people's timing, and it's never about your timing, and that's something I had to really like accept, is that it's never your timing, it's Creator's timing. And you can tell God your plans, and then he'll laugh in your face and tell you how it should be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a great mystery of like why he does the things he does. Like horrific, horrible things happen in the world, but there's like a balance in the world where not everything is black and white. Like there's just complexities in life and like human behavior and nature that we just don't understand. And you don't have to like force anything. You know, people are here for their reason, for their divine purpose. And in whatever state that they're in, that's how Creator made it for them. And you don't know what they've done, what they've accomplished, or like what they will accomplish, or if you're going to plant that seed. Maybe it's just planting a seed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just you offering prayers. Maybe it is life-changing if like you have it in you and you have a feeling to say, because you do have a voice, a consciousness, but that's Creator.
Yeah.
You of saying like, I'm going to tell this person, hey, we have sweat tonight if you want to come, or hey, there's a language class, or like, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
I want to give, like, I saw this girl at the store, and I know of her in passing, and my way of planting a seed was, she was like, hi Jayli, how are you doing? And sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't know they know my name. And then I'm like, oh, hi, how are you doing? And she was like, I'm all right. And she didn't look all right. And I was like, oh. And I just kind of looked at her, and I honestly, in the moment, I wanted to say something profound. I wanted to say something that'd help her, but I couldn't think of it immediately. And I grabbed my stuff and I walked out, and I was dying inside. And I was like, something was speaking to me. I got in my car and I looked at my sweetgrass on my dash, and I grabbed it and I went back inside, and I went around the counter and I looked at her and I said, it made me feel bad when you said I'm all right, when you said I'm just all right. And her lip was shaking. And I said, I want to give this to you to put on your dash in your car. And I smiled at her and I gave her a hug. And she's like, thank you. And I was like, of course. And like, I had like tears in my eyes and a lump in my throat. And that's all I could say. And like, it hurt me to see her hurting. And I wasn't going to drag her anywhere, you know, just be human in that moment with her is all I could do. And she was hurting a lot. And I think she added me on Facebook after that. So
Well, it worked. It worked. And I think like small gestures like that too make it the furthest. You know what I mean? Rather than thinking like, I should have said this or I should have said that. I think like a action gesture like that will probably stay with her for the rest of her life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I had this question written down and I was super excited to answer it or ask it. So can you tell us about any teachings or stories that were passed down to you that you think would help give our listeners hope to keep trying to do their best in whatever they do?
Oof. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I know, but I'm ready. So ready.
I think I was thinking about that one really hard on the way, and I was like sweating thinking about it. But it's like, be coachable.
Yeah.
When you're there, like, be humble. You know, lift others up. And Mike Tyson always says, like, if you don't have discipline, you don't have nothing. You're nothing without discipline. Like, I always want to say that on a podcast. Or like, there's beauty in the struggle. You know, there's beauty in the struggle. Like, he's got so much wisdom because he's lived so much life and lost so much. And pain and discomfort, like, propel you forward. So the more that you make yourself uncomfortable and challenge yourself, you're like way ahead of the game. You're like, pain is like breathing for you, like discomfort is just breathing for you. And like, don't be afraid to be a fool. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and fail in front of other people, because majority of the time they'll have something to say about how you did it and how you felt, but they'll never take the step to do what you did. And so at the same time, hold grace for those people, and then maybe somehow you'll still inspire people that are judging you. You know, say, oh, well, I'm human. I made a mistake. I failed. I look like a fool, but you know what? My character and my heart and has transformed. And I hope you can have that too. I think, what was the other one? So there was the discomfort, there was the pain, and like all of the struggle and everything that you faced. There's like just criticism. You're gonna get criticism. Like you could be walking on water like Jesus, and people like could be like, you know, she only walks on water because she can't swim.
Or like, why is she walking like that?
How come she's got knock knees? Like they'll have something to say.
No, really though.
And you can't take offense to anything. Don't take offense to anything. Like people are gonna have opinions. People are gonna have perspectives. There's no low lows. There's no high highs kind of thing. Like even when people are like, you're the most amazing person in the world. Oh my God, you could do no wrong. You're so amazing. And then your head gets so huge that you're just like, just a, you know, wobbling fool who just is full of themselves and like thinks you're better than other people. And I take comfort in knowing I'm not better than anybody, because then that means nobody's better than me.
Right.
You know, I take comfort in that. And like, I'm human, you're human, life's messy. We make mistakes, we grow. That's life. It's cool. Like, and defeat is a state of mind. Like if I'm learning and I'm growing from everything that I'm going through and all my mistakes, and I decide to take a bucket list professional boxing bout and I get rocked, I want credit for my losses and my wins. And I went through that. I did that. I took my tax forms to the tax dude, and he was like, "Did you collect anything from boxing, Quicksilver, or something?" And I was like, "No, that was like a traumatizing experience." And he was like, "Why? What happened?" And he was like, "That's the most living any of us can say we've ever done."
Right.
And I was like, "Cool. Somebody had something nice to say."
Yeah.
All right. But like, I think like losses or like failing is like, it bestows upon you so much more than winning could. It's almost like being spoon-fed or like being spoiled. You know, why are there like amazing people in the world that had the shittiest lives? Is because, you know, they've like literally been made into a hero from their hardships because they have the ability to problem solve, and they've been faced with problems their whole life. You can either, you know, even little kids, like they say, like, don't help little kids like get on the chair. Those are their like first like experiences with problem solving. Are you going to pick them up and put them on the chair? Or are you going to say, all right, this is a problem, go ahead, get up that chair, like, you know, like, or they can like just stare at it and decide never to try. So if you're never trying, you're not failing, you're not growing, and you're hurting yourself, and you're hurting other people by not letting them problem solve. Or and it's yeah, I'm like rambling and forgetting about the question.
No, that's okay.
Like success.
Yeah.
And yeah, success, be successful. You got this. I don't want to say that. I can do it. You're capable of anything. You've got royalty and loyalty in your DNA.
So, I know, and then don't get offended when I call you this, being a young elder, right?
Oh God, no, at the stigma.
So I know, like,
It's
okay,
toxic.
no,
Like,
don't say that. So
young elder.
So being, I feel like I can't imagine like the weight that you kind of carry. You know what I mean? Like trying to, cause carrying the language and culture and teachings like that, that's gotta kind of be a lot. You know what I mean? Like wanting to get it out there for other people to kind of like take in. Like, what helps you with like when it gets too heavy? Like, what do you do? Is that like where your hobbies and sports and all that stuff come in?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's my sanity.
Right.
So having healthy outlets, but also like what's really encouraging is knowing that like there's actually a lot more people that like keep teachings, and especially our young people. People are like, oh, these kids nowadays, iPad babies, whatever. My students impress me every day.
Yeah.
Like I'm so like blown away. And that's one thing too that like I'm excited about is like I'm kind of putting my own language on the learning on the back burner, but being able to sit with youth has given me so much hope, because like my students, there's just a couple of the girls in my class where like they remember stories from their grandma and they're telling me Mashi stories. And I'm like, what? I don't know these stories, but they do. Some like she knows the story, she remembered the story, and that goes a long way. It goes such a long way. And then just all of our like some of our like behavioral laws, these kids know that. And I think like we don't have, there's like a stigma where like we don't really have faith in our young people, but I think they're so awesome and amazing, and they're the future. And I think another thing, like outlets, man, in my 20s or like in my teens, boxing taught me how to harness my emotions, my anger, and be patient. So patient. I'm forever grateful for that sport. At first I was hyperventilating, like holy crap, I was hyperventilating, and that was all of my emotions coming out. And so like there's this thing where it's like there's stillness and violence, and there's peace and violence, and there's stillness and motion. And being active is something I advocate hard, because like I said, we're a result of our environment, what's been done to us, our people, the sicknesses and the illnesses. We have to be active. And there's so much, like basketball is a part of our culture now. And like going to like Battle of the Nations and seeing like all the natives there, like it's literally a part of our culture. And it's because like, I don't know why, but it's just a beautiful thing to see, like all the tribes coming together, and like there's just something about having a team and like having a sisterhood or a brotherhood in these sports, and growing up together, and being active together, and having those outlets together. And it's become cultural, and it's kind of always been, it's almost like when they used to hunt together, I'm sure, or like, you know, run Madegadi off the cliffs, you know, it's probably a lot like that. We used to have games too. So I think being active is something that is vital. So encourage people, have something, go hiking. And it like promotes, like it creates all of these, like all your dopamine. Real dopamine is so important. Sunlight, go walk outside on the grass. Literally, there's a science behind it. And when my dad was saying when you Sundance too and you go lay down, you literally like charging up like a cell phone. Like, and so, yeah, there's a science behind what do Mashi people call it? Like, what do they call it? Earthing, when they put their feet on the grass.
Oh, like connecting?
Grounding.
Yeah, there's like grounding. There's like
Yeah.
electromagnetic energy happening, but also it's a spiritual thing too. Like, drink your water, get sunlight, get real dopamine, go for hikes, like go for runs. And definitely it's like something I do to kind of like relieve that pressure, because there's a lot of pressure, but I think I know I'm not the only one that's carrying it and that has to carry it. And that's what keeps me hopeful as well.
Thank you. Dom, you have anything else?
I was just thinking about, how do you keep your spiritual body fit?
I think it's like a everyday thing. I think ceremony is constantly happening. Like I don't like go to sweat and then turn it off when I leave, or like that mentality. But I allow myself to be human too, like have my thoughts about things. I I'm constantly thinking like that though. And I think that's how everybody is. Like I look in the sky and I see like the geese, and I hear songs that Grandma Sally taught me about the geese. Or like I'll look at the river and think of like our grandfather in the river. And or like, I don't know, it's kind of funny too. They'll like humble you. I don't know, I'm not going to tell that story because it's kind of like inappropriate, but yeah, there's just like validation all the time. Like I don't go to sweat a whole lot. My parents are sweat hogs. So like my mom's hair is so thick because all she does is sweat, and like her oils are just like making like this garden on her head. That's like, and I'm over here like with my little stragglies putting my expensive oils in it, and all I gotta do is just go to sweat like that. But I try to enjoy, like, I honestly, it's hard for me to get up in the morning the next day after sweat. So it's like technical things. And I do try to make time to go. And kind of when I feel it, you know, like I feel like I need to go to sweat. And like sometimes people are like, we got to go weekly, like church. But I mean, it's your preference, you know. I'm always praying. Like my thoughts are prayers. And sometimes feelings. Sometimes I have feelings I can't like even put into words in my mind, but it feels like a prayer. And like I feel like that's kind of how I always am. And I'm always wanting good things and always trying to have good intentions. Mm-hmm. And so I think spirituality has kind of, there's like an idea behind it where it's something you practice like sometimes, or it's just something that you live to. And I think that's how it stays strong. Like that's how your spiritual muscle becomes strong, is that you're just feeling, even if you can't think anything, just having good feelings. And like there's this little monk who says like smile with your teeth, smile with your mind, smile with your kidneys, smile with your gut. And that's like literally, you can heal yourself doing stuff like that. Like parts in your body, that's how you heal yourself. And those teachings are in our language too. And that's what's really cool, is like I find that all these really cool teachings are in our language. Like with a he, she said, "Atashita maho mikiro, let's go outside and stretch." I don't know if this is an Aginawi thing, but she'd say, you're giving all of your illness and all of your sadness and all of your pain out of you, like back to the universe where nobody can get hurt. And when the thunders come home and you stretch, and it's not just stretching, like it's almost like you're ridding yourself of illness in all senses. And when they go out and they do that, and she'd say like, mikiro, and believing in the power of doing that, believing in I'm sending out my illness. If you don't believe that you can do that, it's not gonna work. If you don't believe it's not gonna work. And then she would say the power of, how did she say that part? It was basically, oh man, I'm kicking myself for not remembering this part, but she'd say the power of the things that you say. Ma'arugadi shet. Saying things that are true. Yeah. And it's crazy because another book that really helped me on my perspective of things is The Four Agreements. The Four Agreements, and it talks about being impeccable with your word and the things that you say. And it's from like an indigenous person. Yeah. So like our perspectives are really similar. And so like the power of the things that you say, and so like being true and manifesting those things, your thoughts become your words, and your words become your habits and your actions. And so like you're believing like all the negative, that's going to manifest. And then if you're believing in all of like the greatness of everything in all things and in yourself, those things are going to manifest. And she would say, Nikki kubire, speak with yourself. Speak with yourself. And I'm constantly doing that. I realized I'm constantly speaking life into myself, not because like I need to. I'm constantly like, even if I don't, sometimes like in my mind, I'll be fighting my mind. Like sometimes if I don't believe in, like I feel like I'm not believing, I'll say things out loud that were like I'm trying to like change my thought process. And so like she'd say that, and it's a really short phrase, but you can tell that that's what she means within that little phrase, and all those perspectives and all those secrets are in there. Like Nikki kupire, speak with yourself, and zagi hakish, tell yourself you're gonna heal. And so like speaking healing into yourself and into others is powerful, and it's real.
I think that's one of the most vital things about going to your elders, because if you ask them for a phrase or a word, you know, they'll tell you, but then they'll explain like why we say it and you know what it means. And that's kind of the importance of finding the elders now, because you know they're getting old on us. You know.
Yep. Number one resource.
So I commend you for remembering all what your elders say and sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I think that's all we got.
Okay.
I think we covered a lot of good things, and thank you for sharing your story and the things that you provide to the community with us. And Dom, thank you for coming to Newtown today. Appreciate you helping me host today. And for our listeners, we have a point of contact Facebook page. We have a TikTok, the MorningStar Podcast. We have a YouTube and Spotify. So make sure and help us share, like and subscribe, and hit us up.
Mods, get out.
In this life we live free, yeah. In this life